Hi, what's up you guys? Thank you so much for joining me today in this recipe video. As you could see by the title, today we're making some garlic naan and it's perfect to go along with some curry. And if you haven't checked it out, my last video up here is about a chickpea curry. So make sure to check that out and we'll just get right into the recipe because it's so easy, so simple. We'll be using a pan to bake the naan bread, so there's no need of an oven, and yeah, let's just get right ahead. Alright, we'll get started with some lukewarm water, and my water is 40 degrees, so it's perfect. We'll take 200 milliliters, and then we'll add 7 grams of yeast right into the water, along with a tablespoon of sugar. I use date sugar because it's just healthier than normal white sugar, but you can use whatever. So just put it right in here. Take your whisk and just whisk it all together until it gets all foamy and super well combined. So we'll just let this rest for a second and continue with the flour. So I have 100 grams of whole grain flour and 150 grams of just white flour. Just combine this very roughly. If you want, you can also add a little pinch of salt. And since we're making garlic naan, I'm also gonna add some garlic powder. Just to taste, as you can use as much or as little as you want. I really love garlic, so we'll just go ahead and put that all in here. If you want, you can use any other spices, but I'll just leave it plain and simple for today. Now we take our yeast sugar mixture, just pour it right into the bowl, and then just start blending it out. If you want, you can flour or grease up a separate bowl so that the dough isn't sticking. And then just transfer it to this bowl. This is the first step already. Just a little note, depending on what flour you're using, you may need to add a little bit more water because whole grain just needs more water. But if you're going for this, I think 200 milliliters would be fine. It should be sticky, it shouldn't be too dry, but also it shouldn't be super watery. So just make sure that you find the right combination and then you're all good to go, I guess. So this dough needs to rise for like 30 to 60 minutes until it's doubled in size. I'm gonna put it in the oven, turn the light on because the light's giving some warmth so that it's super snug and warm in there without baking the actual dough. Alright, we'll need to let it rise for a little bit and then see you back for the second part, which is also super simple. So don't worry. Guess what? I'm back. It's been about 40 minutes and as I can see, the dough has definitely doubled in size, but there's one thing we need to do before we take out the dough, and that's cutting up a garlic clove because we want to put it on top of the naan along with some spices to give it a little extra texture and extra taste. Now that we have our garlic all ready to go, let's take a look at the dough. And oh wow, it looks amazing. Guys, don't worry if your dough doesn't stay up like that, because we still have to like knead it a little bit. So it will decrease in size nevertheless, but it doesn't really matter like at all. We'll just get right ahead and take some more flour, put it in a separate bowl. And make sure that your hands are covered in flour as well because the dough is kind of sticky. And then you just start to take out a little piece. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. Just roll it in the flour. And then go right ahead and make some flour balls just like this. And they should be super subtle, super fluffy still. As I said, don't forget to flour up your fingers, otherwise they'll look like this. Great, ball number 2. And then the last one is just a tiny little one. Alright, make sure to wash your hands after. Amazing! This is another step done. We do have our flour balls. Next thing will be to heat up your pan on really high heat until it's warm, and decrease the temperature to like medium heat, and then we're ready to go and put the dough balls in the pan. Let's go. Once the pan is hot enough, just put one of your balls in here. Just spread it out, make it kind of flat. And then add some of the garlic. Just press it down. And some of the spices if you'd like. I think oregano or basil would work super good, but again, just feel free to use whatever. I prefer to not let the naan sit in the pan for too long. I prefer to swap it over every so often to make sure that it's not burning. Make sure to wipe your pan after every naan because the spices and the garlic could just stay in there and burn. Repeat this step with all of your naan rolls and then you're all ready to go. And that, you guys, is how you make naan bread. Super simple, right? I wet my hands before rolling the dough and putting them in the pan so that it didn't stick on my fingers. I found that to be very useful. And anything else? No, I think that was it. They look super good, they're really fluffy, and they're best to be enjoyed with some Indian food, maybe some curry. If you haven't seen my curry recipe, make sure to check it out because it goes super well together. Do you guys want me to try it? I think I should try it now. Oh my god, it smells so good and it's so fluffy. It's even better than the original because I think this one is healthier. I don't know if in the original there's some oil or anything, but this is vegan, oil-free. You could even leave the salt out if you wanted to. That's amazing. Oh my god. You enjoyed this recipe, and thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. As I said, check out my curry recipe because it's super delicious and it's perfect for the naan bread. Other than that, I hope you're having a really great day and see you next time here on my channel.